Warning, the game in this video contains very strong language and humour that some people may find offensive. This video was recorded on the Sapphire Pulse RX 570. Trover Saves the Universe is a pretty unique 3D action platformer by Squanch Games, a relatively young studio that was founded by Justin Roiland of Rick and Morty fame, and Tanya Watson, an ex-Epic Games producer with some very impressive credits to her name. The game was designed to be played using a VR headset, however it is perfectly playable without. Also, when you first boot up the game, it recommends that you play through it with a gamepad, which I opted against and instead used keyboard and mouse, which again worked great. In Trover Saves the Universe, you play the game from the perspective of a Chertopian, an alien race with such a strong aversion to standing that their legs have atrophied to the point where I doubt they could even if they wanted to. As a result, they spend their lives sat in fancy teleporting chairs, in houses shaped like chairs, which are filled with objects that look like, you guessed it, chairs. Right at the beginning of the game, a big blue alien monster called Glowcon kidnaps your two doggos and sticks them into his empty gaping eye holes, which apparently gives him near godlike powers.
You stupid piece of shit! Crazy! Crazy!
Now you, along with your purple partner Trover, have got to travel the universe in the hopes of stopping Glowcon, rescuing your dogs, and saving the universe. Now obviously this is not going to be an easy task when you are restricted to a chair, so this is where Trover comes in. When you first meet him, he gives you a power baby that plugs into your gamepad and allows you to control him directly. By standing Trover on glowing warp nodes that are scattered throughout the game's many worlds, the Chertopian is able to teleport to that point, which is how you move around the environments.
Alright, and that's how we do it. Let's go.
Very early on in the story, you gain access to an upgrade that enables you to raise and lower your chair. This allows you to quickly shift perspectives, which is not only super handy in combat, but also intertwined into the exploration and search for collectibles. Other upgrades include some skills for Trover and a couple of additional chair upgrades, such as being able to move certain objects using your mind, or a double jump glide for Trover. Gameplay for the most part is very straightforward. On your journey you will visit many weird and wonderful worlds, each with their own unique look and feel. Upon reaching a new stage, you are simply required to make your way through the level in a rather linear fashion, and you will often be required to do a couple of puzzles, fight a few bad guys, and speak to a character or two while you are at it.
Oh great, it's you again.
Yeah, I stole that node like ouch! Ouch! I have a power baby if you quit hitting me, and I'll give it to you if you don't kill me and help me with the boxes.
Throughout the stages, you will also find many collectibles in the form of green power babies. These are often fairly well hidden and require you to really keep an eye out in order to find them all. Collecting enough green power babies will also increase Trover's hit points, which gives them some real value, and Trover himself will be very grateful if you put in that extra bit of effort.
So, you know, power babies are like super important, man, because the red ones give me health, but like the green ones, I'm trying to save those because they're an endangered species, and if you collect them, that'll really put some skin in the game for me, you know? It's like tipping an Uber driver. Plus they get me really high when I have them in my eye socket. Like I get really high off of power baby's energy. It's like when shamans make you drink ayahuasca to reflect for 24 hours on the spirits that are haunting your body. You know, if you collect them all, I swear to God, I will make sure there's some insane thing at the end of this game. Like, at the very final part of this game, I will make sure that there's some insane-ass gift for you, but only if we collect all the green power babies, alright? But if you don't, you know, that means you don't care about me.
Other than the camera perspective and a few other minor bits and bats related to VR, Trover Saves the Universe is pretty much your run-of-the-mill 3D platformer, and a pretty simple one at that. But that's not to say I was not impressed. I mean, apart from lacking any real challenge, I loved how the game felt on a mechanical level. Squanch Games have got a big passion for VR, and that really shows. Connected feel is something that is very important in VR, as it helps minimize the risk of motion sickness and disorientation, but it's not just VR that benefits from great connective feel. Low input latency, responsive controls, and extremely fluid and consistent performance is something that is going to benefit everybody that plays. Trover Saves the Universe, put simply, is one of the nicest feeling games that I have ever played. But let's be honest, the biggest reason that most of you are going to want to pick up Trover Saves the Universe is going to be the comedy. Now it's confession time. I have actually never watched an episode of Rick and Morty, or any of Justin Roiland's creations for that matter, so I can't say how this compares to any of his previous work. With that said, I do consider myself to have a fairly dark sense of humour, and I found this game to be hilarious, like literally full on belly laughter kind of funny. Nevertheless, I can appreciate that if this kind of rather crude comedy styling does not align with your own sense of humour, then there's a very good chance that you could end up hating this game very quickly due to just how full on it is. And while there is indeed an option to censor some of the more extreme language in the game, it's not going to change that humour.
Okay, check this out. Watch this. This is crazy. Eat each other. You see this shit? He's eating the other ones. Insane. That's what they do when you put them close together. Isn't that crazy? And all the powers are now combined into this one power baby. And here we go. We're ready to double jump, baby. We got the double jump now.
Presentation wise, Trover Saves the Universe is a masterclass of what can be achieved with a very simple yet concise art style. Considering the basic cartoon styled aesthetic, the developers have still managed to cram in a surprising amount of detail into the game's many environments. One of the defining factors of the old school 3D platformers that newer games have really failed to emulate is managing to make those worlds feel fantastical, yet also believable, which is something Trover Saves the Universe does not struggle with. The animation work on display here is top notch, with the characters not only having great canned animations, but also the way that they blend animations together really plants them firmly into the game's world, which is something that a lot of games fail to do properly. Audio is, as expected, done to a very high standard, with the voice acting being especially good. I mean, it's not surprising considering that Justin Roiland voices many of the characters himself, but it is still worth pointing out. Finally, let's have a quick look at the performance. We played through Trover Saves the Universe on the Sapphire Pulse RX 570 at 1080p using the Epic preset, and the game ran flawlessly. At no point did I notice any frame rate slowdowns or stutters. I don't actually think there were many, if any, moments in the entire game where we dropped below the 120 FPS mark. Like I mentioned earlier, the game was designed around VR, and in VR, making sure you have a nice high FPS with stable performance is very important, and Squanch games have totally smashed it out of the park in them regards. And in conclusion, Trover Saves the Universe is a must play for anyone that enjoys the kind of humour that it offers. The gameplay itself, while fairly simple and not very challenging, feels great. While fairly short at around 5 to 6 hours, Squanch Games have announced that they will be bringing out additional adventures as DLC packs that will be free to anybody that owns the base game, so yeah, for me, this game is winning on all fronts. Now, before I leave you all, I would just like to say thank you so much for stopping by and watching to the very end of the video. If you are new around here, I would appreciate it if you would at least consider slapping that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified of our future uploads. Also, if you are active over on Instagram, then maybe you would be interested in following our account over there. You will find it at SapphireTech_official. Now, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, please do let us know by leaving us a like or alternatively a dislike. Either way, your feedback is welcomed. If you've got any questions, suggestions or feedback, please do leave them in the comment section below this video, and I will try to get back to them when I get a chance. Once again, from myself and everyone here at the Sapphire Tech YouTube channel, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we will catch you later. Bye bye.